Maggie. All right, so we have our roller handy, and we're gonna start without it for now, just to get that lower body a little bit warmed up. So make your way into a tabletop position. And then bring the feet to touch, but the knees wide. Walk the hands just a little bit forward, and as you exhale, think bringing the perineum, or like the underside of the bootay, to the back. So you're gonna kind of reach the booty back. There's almost like an arch in your back as you do it. And then inhale, just bring it gently forward. You can even rock a little forward of your wrist. Exhale, draw those sit bones back. You're kind of leading with the lowest part of your torso. Inhale, track forward. We'll take a moment just to move slowly from front to back, deepening into the groin creases, and slowing down the pace of our breath, the pace of our mind. And one more time, this really simple rocking motion, almost kind of calling forward the rocking we received as babies, right? Just kind of calming it down. And then let's inhale in a circle over to the right, feeling that in the outer right hip, and then tracking over the wrist, exhale left. Let that left hip open as you circle back to center. So it's actually just this big, delicious circle. Simple, nothing complicated here. As you take this last circle, feel the hips press to the side you're rolling towards, and press towards the other side, so you really get that space of the outer glute, feeling that. And then on your next exhale, just slide into a child's pose of your choice, allowing the forehead to rest down. As you breathe here, let's take a couple vocal exhales together. That really lets us kind of drop into the mode of ease and release and letting go. A big inhale to fill up the low back and side waist. Do one more like that, really making a conscious effort and intention to release right here, right now. Beautiful. Let that head roll slightly side to side, beginning the process of opening the muscles of the face. As you massage through the forehead, allow the jawbone to hang from the face as well. On the next inhale, spread those fingers. We're going to move slightly. We'll do the same circle just to the other side. So we started by moving up to the left. So inhale over or up to the right. So inhale over to the left now, circling forward. And exhaling, dropping to the right, feeling that in the outer right. Really kind of rear hamstring towards the IT. Maybe you feel it mostly in the booty. Just notice where you feel it. It's going to be unique person to person. Slowing the mind, tracking sensation. One more full cycle. Whew. And inhaling to come up to center. Before we hit our roller, let's get a little bit deeper into this area. We'll focus on today to start is to bring the right foot forward inside the leg. And then I want you to bring the hands inside, turn the right toes out. Yeah, and then we're gonna do the same thing, but opposite with the back leg. So now the back leg turns in. So maybe they're both around like 30, 40 degrees. And then from there, just rock a little forward back. I'm gonna model if you can't quite see. It's pretty simple. The front toes are turned to one direction. The back shin is turned in the other direction. We're moving forward and back, and I want you to feel, do you get some kind of interesting place deep inside? Almost like for me, I feel like it's in the bone of my outer right leg. Pretty deep. Sway a little side to side, see if that changes the sensation or brings in something else. That's interesting. And maybe crawl the hands forward. We'll take just another round of breath to see if we can allow the unique opening of opening sensations of the hip to soften and release every cell of our body here, not just the hip. Letting the hands relax, the head relax. Slow inhale to come on back to center. Find any way that makes sense to transition. You could come through tabletop. Bringing the left leg out wide, turn the toes out, and then the back foot out. So then you track forward back to start. As you move gently here, it might make sense to even let the head kind of dangle down. If you found something juicy, you can hold and breathe. Or start to take it into a little snake tail, kind of wiggle waggling the hip in a way that feels good. For me, that really opens up that left outer glute. Ooh, subtle sensation, or subtle movements that make large sensations. Another big breath here, slowing down the pace of the breath. And then an exhale to release. We're ready for our roller. Bring it out and stick it underneath the butte. We'll start by sitting. You might as well go straight to this mysterious region that we were discussing to start. So let's elongate the legs and drop the hips back behind. Sometimes it's most comfortable when we do that to place the hands behind you. Just make sure your whole butt is kind of off. If you're flexy today and it's comfortable to bring the hands in front, that's fine. We'll frame that right leg. So the left hand could go just inside or top of thigh, or frame it. And then inhale, just lift the left butt off the roller, and exhale, drop it back down. Let's take a few of those passes. We're scrolling through that outer upper hamstring and then sliding the hips, both hips to touch. Taking a moment to explore this region. And as you do, I want to encourage you to explore whether bringing your butt back further is actually more interesting in your body. That's going to draw the sensation a little lower down as you roll onto that outer hammy. Or if you want to get like right up there, not on the bone, you won't get much from that, right, on the sit bone, but just like barely below it, all those attachments of this notoriously, this notorious muscle, the hamstring, right? Always being spoken of for all of its complexities and its tension. We're letting that unfurl as we take just another pass or two. The next time you find you're lifted up, so my left glute's completely off the floor, then I'm going to start to point and flex the right toe. I encourage you to try both toes. We're mobilizing the ankles, the added benefit. Start to circle that up. So you're getting that whole big circle. And as you do, feel the connection between the lateral thigh, that outer thigh, and what happens when you kind of roll the foot in. Ooh, feel all the feels here. Really welcome sensation. Not chasing sensation, but just inviting ourselves to feel what's alive in our body tonight. Nice. Find the most sensitive, or just that place where when you move your foot, you really feel that connection. Like for me, if I kind of draw my pinky toe over towards my left leg, it's like, oh, okay, there's that long line of muscle. And then take a big breath into that, maybe relaxing the head down to the shoulder. Ooh. Nice work. Let's stay with that side. Whichever side you're on, for me, I'm on my right. We're gonna go ahead and come over to the side. I don't wanna go straight to the IT. I wanna bring the roller forward a little bit so we can actually place the left knee on top. So now we can come down to the forearms and give it a roll forward and back, nice and slow, so that we're playing on that playground of the outer quad, just really right in front of the IT band. Nice. Yeah. Beautiful. It's so encouraging to roll with people. I have found that it is challenging to keep up the roll practice beyond my daily 5, 10, 15 minutes, really to get this good hour long. I want the support of my community. So I'm so glad y'all are here and that Mag and Tam have created this space for us to connect with our bodies. We're finding the most sensitive spot now. So where was that spot for you? Was it closer up towards the hip or lower towards the knee? And once you find that, you might even kind of splay out and relax. You might bend the knee for a good old pin and stretch. You might keep the leg straight, but just rotate it in its socket. Like turning a door handle, letting that ball and socket joint of the hip rotate into the pelvis. Nice. Another round of breath for this spot. Maybe it's stillness now. As you're ready, let's find again that full length of that vastus to connect again, reminding that thigh of its connection, its wholeness. It's united with the hip, it's united with the glute. The next time you roll towards the pelvis, let's meet there and go ahead and just take that even above the hip flexor. And we'll start to work with the glute now in a different way, or actually our first way. We'll lengthen the right leg, if that's your lower leg. And from here, you're just gonna lean back a little bit. So I just wanna be clear that I'm not hitting bone when I do this. Now I'm rolling onto my upper glute. And then as we roll forward, hopefully you roll right into that kind of hip flexor region. You're like right in that location where pelvis meets leg. And just take it back and forth, allowing the top leg to be a tool for shifting weight. This can also be done in just full splay, full relaxation mode. Always inviting ourselves to slow and calm. We know we get the most out of our muscular release if we just cool it down. Oh. The next time you find yourself after a full breath-filled pass, once you make your way towards the booty, if you are splayed out, find yourself at your elbow again, and let's actually come to a seat. We'll elongate that right leg, and we'll keep the knees over towards the right. If you need to take more of a center place on your roller, that's cool. And we'll start to roll from the upper hip all the way down towards the lower glute. So we're really isolating this really bulky, really important, juicy muscle, the back of the right hip. If you've been sitting a lot, working or whatever you're doing, we generally sit with our hip kind of flexed, and that really elongates this muscle. So we're taking this moment now to just kind of circulate or juicify, I don't know a better word than that, to kind of flush it through with the ease of fluid, that fluidity of the muscle tissues after they've been massaged or we've had a good walk. Letting your conscious breath move into that right glute, finding the most sensitive spot on that line. From here, you can play with that right knee, move up and down, The foot could be just right on top of the left leg also, and then we could find some simple movements, little deep tissue work. As you breathe here, see if you can find some type of softness through the neck or even the eyes, so that we can pay really specific attention to what's alive, what we're feeling there. Easy for the mind to want to escape when we feel a lot of sensation. So see if you can just stay. It means to kind of build in our courage. Letting yourself unwind as you are ready. You can always stay anywhere, right? You know, very personalized practice, especially in your own home. And we'll go back to where we started that sequence. So the legs are wide. They don't have to be super wide, but we just want to get that butte behind. And the hands can go over towards the left, or they could go behind you. Either way, just going to start to lift that right booty up now, or whatever one's opposite from where you started. And as you do, just double check if you're new to this roll. I don't think anyone is new to rolling that's here. But if you are new to this roll, just make sure that your butt's behind. You could literally reach back and get like a handful of yourself in your hand. So that way we really get the hamstring. Oh yeah. Tracking differences between right and left. Really important part of the rolling practice, in my opinion. As we breathe here, becoming more and more aware of where is holding on that line, where is holding tension on that path between rear hammy and outer ham. And then once you find that spot, see if you can get an angle where you feel it the most. It doesn't have to be an aggressive angle. So if you find it's a little too much, just work a little around town, go a little wider, up or down. And from there, let's circle up the ankles, always inviting more motion, strength, and flexibility in the ankles for ease of walking. The most important exercise we do is just walking around from the chair to the bathroom. You know, these simple movements we don't even think of as exercise. These are so important now that we just appreciate all those little motions and realize they're shaping our body. However we're walking, we're always shaping everything above based on how our feet are interacting with the ground. And feel that connection between outer left ankle and outer left thigh. Beautiful. From here, we'll take it to that left fist by rolling all the way around. So I move myself more deeper onto my roller, and so I can place the right knee on top, coming into the onto the forearms and just passing through. We mute our classes on Zoom because otherwise it sounds terrible. But it's almost too bad in rolling because it is nice to hear each other's breath, and those times that we get that like really sweet spot, we give a little moan. So be really allowing with your vocal expression here. If you find that, you get one of those spots, hold on it and feel free to let your vocalization reflect what's happening. We're finding that sensitive spot now when you're ready, and just begin your process of exploring with specificity. Whether you're rotating the left thigh or you're bending the knee or a combination of those, or just resting in stillness, make sure that that left ankle and foot is relaxed. that we are really receptive through the tissues of the thigh. When we spread the toes, it activates the muscles of the legs, so let that foot deactivate. Ooh. Maybe you want to find another spot now, or maybe your spot is the spot. We'll give ourselves a good full 5, 6 breaths, slowing down the pace of the breath to allow the muscle tissue to release and let go. Ooh. Beautiful, yeah. So nice to be here together, kind of slowing each other down a bit. Finishing up this spot, you know, you can stay if you found something good. When it's time to re-enter the full length of your thigh, go ahead and find that. Notice if already there's a difference. And that was some pretty deep work. There's probably a difference there. It's really all about getting more sensitive to feeling it. Yeah. We'll finish up allowing that hip to roll up towards allowing the roller to roll towards hip and releasing the bottom knee, or that right knee on the floor. We'll now begin to use it as a rudder, tapping the right toes behind us and rolling onto now that outer upper line of the glute and passing back and forth from hip flexor, all the way up to the top of the buttocks, anchoring in, kind of like sliding in towards the sacrum, that center bone of the low back, low pelvis. Now, as you move here, begin to feel and visualize, imagine, or literally feel the threads of the muscles of the hip flexor are unwinding. They are softening and spreading, like what happens when you slip into a warm bath. After a minute or two, the body just starts to spread out. Same thing, we're warming the tissues here, finishing up this pass. And finally, when you're ready, we'll end with our right foot on the floor and use the arm to lift up onto that left glute. And sliding now forward and back, that glute tissue, all the way up to the top of the pelvic crest, and then passing down towards that funky juncture point where everything meets in center, deep center of the glute. We'll find the most sensitive spot there as we do. That's kind of our flow. We always want to find that spot that's kind of the trouble spot, and then give it some compassion, moving that knee a little in and out, practicing receiving ease and release versus forcing. Maybe taking that foot right on top and taking those micro motions, deep tissue. So good. Closing up this sequence. Releasing the left leg as you're ready. We're on the roller, so let's use it for a simple stretch. We're gonna take the sit bones on top and bring the legs to the side. If your legs easily move to the side and you can keep your low back up, great. If not, bend your knees and just make sure either way the low back is lifted. We're really broad and it's kind of easeful to lift the hands. So we can take that right hand and just draw it inside the leg. We'll take a hold of ankle, could take a hold of floor. Reach the opposite arm up and out and create that big eagle arm open shape, and then just track that. In fact, track the horizon. That's really the best way to come into it. For the shoulder, reaching that left arm long. Even as we lengthen the spine, so the arm reaches, but it's really just an extension of the super long spine, and curling the heart underneath that left armpit even. Just finding something that feels not like you're holding on for dear life, right? So you can always just come up a little bit, or you could bend the knees more. Another round of breath for the side stretch. Open up those left ribs, kind of pooch the ribs even over to the left there, kind of rainbow shape. And inhale, lengthen the spine. Let's flip the palm, turn the thumb forward, and then drag that arm behind us. So now we get the pec stretch, extra bonus pec stretch. Oh, drop the head maybe. Ooh, feel the reach from thumb to ear. Bring the head up with the arm. Yeah, let's take the other side. Whew. Now that we have that flow, follow it, your breath expanding the arm, trace the horizon. Keep the length of the spine with the length of the arm, but circle the heart underneath. I make sure to find some pressure between my arm and the leg so I get that dynamic tension of arm to leg that lets me really curl the heart under. And finally, to close down the stretch, let's give it that rainbow shape. So really kind of pooch the rib cage out, just gentle opening of the space between the ribs, those intercostals. Nice. Slowly lift. Let's find that pec stretch actually. So turn the thumb back, palm is up to the sky, roll it, let the head hang in opposition. Ooh. And then be gentle with yourself as you lead with the hand to rise on up. Holy moly, holy moly. Good. Okay, from here, I want you to come in any comfortable shape for just an intro to neck, and then we'll move in with the roller. Dropping the chin to the chest, roll the shoulders back, and take a moment to just tick-tock the head real slow, side to side. For me, I'm starting with this really long spine. Let it now come into a little bit of a release through the upper thoracic, upper spine here. You can kind of not a collapse through the belly, just see if you can get a little lower on those muscles of the upper back. And then let your head melt towards center. You're just gonna roll on up. Okay, let's find the spine with the roller. Basket for the head, so it has to do no work whatsoever. Hips lift and just slide real slow from lower neck, rolling down towards the lower rib cage. Ooh. Even though you're holding your head and your glutes have to be a little bit engaged in order to remain lifted through the hips, I want you to think of the energy of a wet blanket, just like flopping down. Sometimes when I use that visualization as I roll my spine, I get little cracks and pops all along that line. The breath is also a helpful tool to get a few of those healthy little pops. These full, slow inhales and exhales, and really completing each, right? So at the exhale, just let it go completely. Even I take sometimes like a little, just like a booty bump through my pelvis. So like hop a little bit through the pelvis and see if that, because it translates up the spine a little bit. And then lift one hip, start to slide and glide over that erector on the opposite side. Whew. different take from the one side, from both sides when we get specific. And as you're ready, switch it over. Letting that roller rest just underneath the shoulder blades as you're ready. The hips can rest down as well. We'll start with either side of the lats. I'm going to start on my left side. As you roll over to the side, check in. You can give a little side-to-side motion. Make sure you're not rolling on breast tissue. As long as it's comfortable, you're in the perfect spot. Deactivate the muscles of the neck and the head. Really let it sag into the hand like a rag doll. We've gone to side, and a part of that lat there, let's see if we can comb, once you get right on the side seam of your shirt, come up a little towards the armpit, see if there's anything there for you, and then bring it a little lower down. You just track forward and back a few times. It even help to release the arm and hold the head. You can do it if the elbow easily slides also, that's fine. Moving up and down until we make our way towards the armpit. That's where we want to hang, not in the armpit because there's no muscle there, but towards the back. Make sure you have that back crook of the arm hooked in, perfect for the shape of the roller. And from there, that might even just be enough to take a little side-to-side motion. For me, I'm going to release the head and release the arm and start to explore if that's enough to just kind of roll back and forth. Or if I want to bend my left elbow, bring the right arm around, grabbing the wrist, and then gently lifting up. One of the challenging parts of this one is to see if you can keep relaxing the head as you do it, and then slowly release the elbow back towards the floor. So we're now actually pin and stretching this rear deltoid, and also potentially getting some of those kind of deeper rotator muscles, depending on how low we're going. Nice. The next time you find something good in that kind of rear shoulder area, go ahead and let yourself lean back into it. And just double check that that head is decompressed. And even the hand, you can flop the hand on your head, release the top arm, find something sensitive there. Most of us can find something worth taking a breath or two into in that rear shoulder. Softening into that, and we'll start to move it towards the tricep, unwinding the arm and just skirting down this kind of graceful swoop. Takes a little bit to find it, but once you found it, it's like riding a bike. Just kind of using the muscles of the ribs to draw along from rear deltoid all the way up to the elbow, before the elbow. And that hand is absolutely just flopped. I am in my living room and my screen is open and my neighbors are barbecuing and it just wafted in. It smells so good. So good. And I just ate dinner. It still smells good. Find that place that's midway or closer to elbow maybe, and just give that a good old bend and gentle wave. Good old fashioned American beauty queen wave. Hello, tricep. Perhaps the tricep's tender because it's underworked. Fortunately, My triceps tender because it's worked really hard these last few days. So we're searching for anything that's sensitive, any reason. We don't even need to know the reason. And then we just comb on through elbow to shoulder. Nice, nice work. And the next time you roll towards the elbow, can you place the fingertips on the floor? It's a little bit of a stretch for the wrist. In fact, once you place the fingertips on the floor, it's like, oh, darling. Then try rolling the fingertips to the wrist. So you're gonna touch the wrist with the fingers. It actually stretches out the muscles all around that wrist. Inhale, releasing fingertips. Go ahead and sit on up. My music just changed. I'm not sure about yours. I'm gonna make that adjustment. But first, let me bring you to the other side. So come on over onto your right lat now and start to move. Is the music going crazy on your end?
Nope, everything's fine.
Okay, good. So we're breathing into that lat. And after we've gone side to side for a minute or so, we'll start to move up and down. The head, of course, can remain in the hand. Sometimes it's a little easier if you release, but it does take a little more effort on the part of the head. Breathe into that for a round or two. All right. From here, we're ready to take it up towards that armpit. We'll release the head, release the arm, and just ready to open, broaden the chest. It's the back of the elbow, give a little bit of action. And if you want to up level, we'll bend that elbow, we'll take a hold, lift, open. Second line, we want to relax that head. If it helps to close the eyes to feel more, you're welcome to it. Oh, yeah, nice. I see you, Maggie, close up to the screen. If anything is weird with sound, do let me know, because things got a little weird with my sound. But as long as it's cool on your end, I'm not going to worry about it. But I'll expect you to tell me if it's a thing. And when you're ready, we'll unwind that hand and start to comb now the elbow and back. Cool. And just bending the elbow once you find that sensitive spot. And again, finding that gentle wave or maybe circular motions. And reconnecting with the whole tricep when you're ready. Maybe even moving a little snake-like as you do it. So if you kind of draw the chest towards the floor as you roll towards the elbow, you get one angle, and if you open the chest a bit, you get the back. It's kind of creating a big, wide, swooping circle. It's really a rectangle. The next time you find yourself at the center of the elbow or the center of the tricep, you can try reaching the hand down. Maybe you have to come a little higher on the tricep and just touch the floor and then curl your fingertips in to open up the top of the hand and the top of the forearm. Once you do that, you could even kind of wiggle waggle the fingers a bit. I like to even hook my pointer finger with my thumb and even my middle finger and kind of push the pointer finger like I'm pointing at myself. Ooh. And then as you're ready again, we'll take that same hand towards the floor and use it to sit back up. Perfect. Before we continue the journey of the upper body, I want to get into the forearms pretty specifically. We use our shin bones as our self-bodywork tool. So different bodies work differently with this. I'll talk you through it. We got to get creative with our own bodies. We'll draw our right hand to the floor. So the whole palm faces up and you really have the back of the forearm down. And from there, you're going to want to get creative with how are you going to crawl forward to bring your right knee onto the right inner wrist. Yeah. Now that can feel like a crunch, but once you do it, you can also slide the left leg wider and that gives you more room in the hips, right? And then make sure you're not on the wrist. We won't get much there, but just a little bit higher. And once you find that, exhale, draw the fingertips towards the thigh. And inhale, slowly release the palms, stretch the fingers, drive the nail beds into the floor. We'll do one more here, really flexing, touching thigh, and then releasing. Ooh, nice. Let's move it up just a little more. The knee comes higher up towards the elbow. Keep in mind, as you do your wrist work here, pinning and stretching the muscle by moving the fingers, you could always relax the head onto the roller so it doesn't feel like too much work. And at this point, I invite you to get creative with your finger motions. Maybe you find those weird spider fingers. Ooh, hello. Breath flooding the forearm. Maybe you find a fist and then flex your wrist. Yeah. And maybe you just keep the hand relaxed and actually start to seesaw the knee a little bit side to side. I know this isn't the most friendly, but keep in mind, you can lean back more to release more pressure, right? Or lean in and give the torso's weight to the thigh. Nice. Slowly, gently unwind, release, sit back, and then lift that same arm overhead and give it a big circle, like a good old belly dancing wrist. Switch directions. We're letting that, we kind of cut off, we did almost like a blood stop in Thai massage, right? We kind of cut off the blood for a minute, letting it flow back down, feeling the aliveness of the forearm. Yeah, from here, let's take the other. We'll use the foam roller of our shin to draw the knee onto that upper, the portion closest to the wrist. And from there, we'll take a moment to bend and flex the wrist. Try spreading your fingers as you do. Don't hesitate to sprawl out and get super splayed. Keep tracking your breath here, slowing it down. When we feel tension, we tend to speed up the breath a bit. So see if you can keep the nervous system on rest and digest by breathing slow. When you're ready, track that knee up closer towards the elbow and then find your medicine here. You can always just relax. It's a lot. You can slip slide the knee right to left like you're playing a violin and your arm is the string. My neighbor here is, I think she's 17. She's a professional violinist. She's like just got into Juilliard and she's just plays all the time. It's amazing. It's incredible. Once you find the violin of your forearm has been really well played, at that point you can slowly release, and we'll bring that left arm out now and just circle it. As you do circle it, you can also give your good old spider fingers, long straight fingers a move. You really feel the muscles that connect the hand to the fingers stretch out. Nice work, crew. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's get into that face. From here, take the roller. Let's start in that left jaw. Placing that roller right where the jawbone meets the face, the cheekbone. And open and close a bit. Ooh, reconnecting to the slow pace of the breath, into that soft expansion of the muscles in the hot tub that is your rolling session. And then let the jaw hang from the face and take some gentle motions, maybe a nod of the head or a rock side to side. You might be really appreciating this specific space. You can stay there, or you could start to roll under your cheekbone. And just be careful when you do, not trying to like jam your teeth into the skin of your gum, or your inner layer of your mouth, but you are just trying to roll right underneath that cheekbone until you find, this is one acupressure point I always remember from acupressure or from massage school, is this right at the bottom of the cheekbone. It's called facial beauty. If you can roll on the cheekbone right until that spot, it's really most sensitive. And I'm just gonna touch it in case you're like, what? It's like underneath the cheekbone, I like push up into it. If we were to go a little closer to the sinus, we would get some good sinus relief too. So you could try that. You could try rolling towards until the nose kind of taps, and then you're gonna push towards the nose and see if you can get an angle. For me, if I take my hand to my roller and I kind of push the roller up as I draw my nose away from my ear, then I get a sinus opening too. And that's kind of cool. When you're ready, and you can play here for a while, the muscular release in the face is so incredible for toning the skin of the face and the muscles of the face. When you're ready, we'll move upward. We want to get right above the ear. And I want you to find the temporalis muscles. They're connected to the jaw. They're actually the jaw muscles. So the jaw, I'll show you in a minute. But we want to just get above the ear, roll slightly angled down, and then open and close your jaw. You're going to want to find that place where you feel the muscles pull. You might have to go higher or lower. Like really above the ear and like a little forward. So see if you can feel that, like some type of bulge or a pull. And then once you find an area there, you go ahead and just rock and roll a little side to side. There's really no going wrong here. So you can get the scalp. These muscles are so important. It's so easy to overlook rolling the face because so many other things speak to us. But when we take this time, the spine relaxes. These muscles that shrink wrap the head, of course, they're also deeply connected to the neck. And the neck is always, it is the spine, right? All the way down to that sacrum. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's get to the other side by passing through center. So you can roll onto your belly, let the third eye center rest on the roller. And I actually like doing this. We do this in child's a lot. I like doing it on belly because now I get a little more pressure. If that's too much for you, child's pose actually gives you a lot of control. Just playing with that third eye center region, passing side to side, maybe giving it a nod up and down, tracking the line from upper nose to lower hairline. And then as you're ready, make your way all the way around and we'll find that right side jaw now. Ooh. And settling in and settling down, opening, closing the jaw. Ooh. And letting that jaw just hang from the face and rocking subtly, sweetly, really softly. Setting ourselves up for a good night's sleep as we start to comb towards the cheekbone, making a stop at facial beauty point, right there underneath the cheekbone. Ooh, that is a sensitive spot, so you could hang there, and if you do, I encourage you to close your eyes and please drool on your roller. You are at home and no one is watching, and that will ensure that your jaw is hanging from your face. Of course, the muscles of the cheek are the muscles super duper deeply connected to the muscles of the jaw. Tracking back towards the jaw as you're ready. You can always hang there. Most of us could work our jaw for a good solid hour, right? But if you're ready to move up, you might try the exploration on this side to find temporalis. Sometimes it's easier. You're probably good wherever you are, so just give it a rock side to side. But I'll show you a trick as you do. As I find it, it's really like right above the ear. I find it with my fingertips above my ear. I open my mouth and the muscles literally like bulge into my hand. It's not subtle at all. So you're working right above the ear, and you could even try kind of pulling your ear back a little bit, not to get on the ear, double it up, but just to get that space. And see, you do have to kind of get creative. It's a little easier to get this spot with the ball. As you take a round of breath or two, drawing towards the eyebrow even. Double check that the hands are open to receive. Really easeful in the palms of the hands. The skin is heavy. You might feel even here like the face is breathing. The cells of the face are breathing as you open and expand these tissues. Oh, taking a last final breath here. You know you're welcome to stay or to come back. But as you're ready, I want you to get rid of the roller and display yourself out on the ground. The head can go in either direction. And see if you can get the elbows at this 90-degree angle. And then from there, we'll open the pec, rolling first onto the right side, keeping, so option number one actually is a little more forgiving, is arms straight. So that's a little less intense in the pec. If you want to start there, stacking the feet and knees. I love bending the elbow because it gets a little more, it's not for everyone, but it does get a little more specifically into that pec minor that is the culprit for a lot of our, really our upper back pain. It's a lot of our like hunching comes from this little muscle. It's not little, it's brutal muscle. But it's comparatively small to the larger pec. And we're just letting that muscle slowly unwind. This is one you're not wanting to force into an opening. Flooding the right side rib cage with breath. Might even try an active release. As you exhale, press the right palm into the floor. Just double checking that doesn't hurt the outer shoulder, right? So just be gentle, really gentle. And then you'll inhale, just release. You'll exhale, release either way. You take another one, just kind of press the hand gently into the floor. That will activate the muscle a little bit. And then you soften and release. You might get a little more opening. If you've been around the block for a minute, you can track that left foot behind you or even expand opposite arm up. Circling wrist perhaps. Oh. This is a daily multivitamin type stretch, whether we do it at the wall or here. And we'll switch over as you're ready. You find that straight arm, hand in line with shoulder or elbow in line with shoulder, and curl on over. And this is a good one to notice where you're holding. Sometimes it'll translate right down into the hands. Like the hands start to get clenchy. You might find an active release, pressing left palm deeper into floor, settle, and then unwinding the muscles and just letting it expand and lengthen. You might even expand the top arm and rotate it in its socket. Slowing down here, slowing down now. Unwinding and releasing. Let's make our way back to our belly and draw into a kind of tabletop-like position. Let's take it to a tabletop. And then we'll press away into a cat. We're going to just invest in our cat pose for a sec. Keep pressing away, drawing the belly up, but let the back of the neck unfurl like a red carpet. Just like almost like your scalp is melting to the floor. Can you keep that action? This is a deep, deep kind of flexion mode. We're going to draw the hairline to the kneecap. See if you can draw the hairline to the kneecap. Usually you won't get very far, right? So you're going to try, release your head to the floor, reach back and take a hold of your ankles or your heels, and even better. Let's take it to rabbit pose to close. We'll really tuck the hairline in, press away, find that round shape, and then roll forward a little. This isn't one to force. Often my hips won't really lift off my heels here. My spine's being a little more open, so I can really lift those heels today. But every day is different in every body. You're pulling on the heels to draw the spine a little rounder. Slow, gentle exhale. Unwind. Slowly use the hands to press up, but take it slow, like you're rolling up through your spine. Try that, like tailbone first, belly button, mid-rib cage, vertebrae by vertebrae. The next, really the last thing, that was a lot of deep spinal action. Shoulder roll. It feels good to be back up straight, right? And we'll just take one back bend to counterbalance that. Coming onto the knees, bring the hands behind the hips, elbows hug midline. For most of us, this is actually going to be like enough, just to kind of squeeze the elbows in. See if you can track the tailbone down and belly up, and then lift the chest just a little bit. Instead of the hips pushing forward, it's just about elongating the pecs. Think about just lifting the pecs. Slowly unwind that. So nice. From here, come into a comfortable seat, and we'll close our practice with just a few breaths right on time. Ready for bed. Inhale, the arms float up on clouds, reaching really long. Let that open your intercostal. So really reach up, keep that length and release. Open the bicep and the forearm. Do two more. Inhale. When you're ready, slide it down. Sometimes leading with the elbows is really nice. That gets a little more into the pec. This time, let's meet up at the top. Inhale, we'll draw it up long, and then take a moment. Reach your right arm up more, a little side bend, and then reach your left arm up more. Oh, so good. Both arms reach up, touch the palms, draw them down into the seat of your own heart. Take a gentle moment of breath here for yourself, really just honoring that you showed up for your body. You're keeping your body mobile, agile, and healthy. Moving the heart into the thumbs, give yourself a gentle bow, thanking this body. And slowly release the palms. Thank you so much. That went really quickly for me. So grateful to see your faces. Looking forward to seeing you again. Thank you, Maggie, for creating this amazing thing called Remedy.
Thank you for teaching that class. That felt so good.
Awesome.
Feels so much better, Hayley. Thank you so much.
Good to see.
Thank you, Hayley. The knees on forearms is genius. So
Yes.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Nice.
it's intense.
Cool.
And all the face massage tonight, like
This
mad
one.
time on the face.
Good.
Ugh.
This is really good. Thank you.
I'm so glad to hear it. I'm glad also the sound worked because my headphones were halfway through started playing my music really loud into my headphones. So the whole time it wasn't like oh, ow, but it was like so I'm glad that didn't happen from your end.
I didn't hear a thing.
So good to see
Bye.
you. This is Alana, Sophie, Sarah, Kate, Diane.
Thank you, Hayley.
Thanks, Hay.
Good night, guys.
Feeling okay in that hip?
Oh my God, that was so amazing.
Good.
I love all the because foam rolling is amazing, but I love that you